Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana. Morara Kebaso has dropped a political bombshell I feel is worth analyzing in this forum. Morara is talking about the possible opposition's presidential candidate. Who will be the opposition's presidential candidate? About 1 day ago, Rigathi Gachagua speaking in the US said it's the best. And he said that these opposition leaders, they will galvanize their support across the country, and then come next year, December, Christmas time, the opposition will unveil its candidate. And the question I know most Kenyans are asking is, who will be that candidate? Morara is lifting the lead on the possible candidate. Morara has been part and parcel of this opposition team, and he might be talking from a point of some information. He knows what he might be talking about. I want us to have a look at the remarks as shared out by Morara through his X account. But before we do that, let me issue this warning as usual. For those who have been keenly following me here, you can attest to this. Long even before we reached here, I said it very clearly that the next election will be between William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. Whether Rigathi will be on the ballot or not, he will be calling shots in the opposition. So if the opposition goes on to win or form the government, Rigathi Gachagua is the person who will be calling shots in that government. So as Kenyans are chanting one term, they should and must equally look at the alternative leadership. Is it worth removing William Ruto and replacing him with Rigathi Gachagua? That's a question I want Kenyans to ask themselves and to answer that question. Is it worth removing William Ruto and then you bring in Rigathi Gachagua? Because from where I sit, it will be between William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. Is it worth replacing Ruto with Rigathi Gachagua? All these noises we are hearing, Gen Zs, all these, will count to nothing. If an election was called today, now, a whopping majority of Kenyans will vote along ethnic lines. A majority of these so-called Gen Zs, they will vote along ethnic lines. Only a few may vote for the person, for who the person is, but a majority will vote along ethnic lines. That's how Kenyans are, and it will take time for that to change. So Kenyans must stand advised. Is it worth replacing Ruto with Rigathi Gachagua? Let's have a look at what Morara Kebaso is saying. Morara Kebaso, I told you that the choice of the opposition flag bearer will be based on tribal numbers and money. The end result will be a presidential candidate who is worse than Ruto. Mkasema wewe bega nyamaza, hakuna kitu unajua. unataka kutuwekea pay bill, nyamaza. Mumeona sasa? I knew what I was saying, but you were too troubled to listen. Now I will tell you this again, and you can bet on it. As long as the 2027 presidential race is organized around tribal coalitions, William Ruto will win that election very fast. Morara is saying, as long as it will all be about tribal numbers, Ruto will win. Earlier in the day, I also talked about that, where I did state that the best candidate for the opposition, a candidate that can make Kenyans not to vote along ethnic lines, is only Fred Matiang'i. With Matiang'i on the ballot, maybe Kenyans will abandon their ethnic lines votings and they might decide to support Matiang'i. With Rigathi as the presidential candidate in the opposition, Kenyans will go back to their ethnic cocoons. They will vote along ethnic lines. Why am I saying that? If Rigathi is a candidate, don't expect the areas that have all along been voting for Raila Odinga to support that kind of an arrangement. And we know that the areas that have been voting for Raila Odinga are about 6 out of 8. If Rigathi is a presidential candidate, or if Rigathi Gachagua will be the person calling the strongest shots in the opposition, expect a majority of areas that have been supporting Raila Odinga to reject that kind of an arrangement. Some Kenyans will not understand these things I'm saying. The only medicine is maybe Matiang'i. If Kenyans don't want Matiang'i, if the opposition leaders cannot agree on Matiang'i, it's better for Kenyans to endure, to persevere the 7 remaining years of William Samoei Ruto. It will be better for Kenyans to persevere than bringing this team I'm seeing in the opposition. And by Kenyans persevering the remaining 7 years, maybe other better leaders will emerge in the opposition who now will make Kenyans vote not based on ethnic lines, but with the current arrangement in the opposition. That team is worse off than William Ruto 1,000 times. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Before William Ruto became the president, we warned Kenyans here. What did Kenyans say? Tunataka huyu mwizi wetu. Huyo ndio tunataka. In spite of the fact that William Ruto's track record was out in the public domain, Kenyans did assume all those. They said all those were just politics. That William Ruto was just being fought because he was against Uhuru's government. I'm hearing the same Kenyans saying Rigathi is just being fought because he's fighting Ruto's government. Just about 1 year ago, Rigathi was in the government, and Rigathi was the face of impunity in William Ruto's government. The face of impunity. Kenyans normally do forget things very fast. Who bewitched Kenyans? My people perish for lack of knowledge. It's better to persevere and to endure the 7 remaining years. Let's all agree that we are in a hole. The only way to save ourselves from that hole is to stop digging. Supporting this team. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. And for those who have forgotten, Morara Kebaso was part of the opposition's team. He knows what he's talking about. And from his post, he's clearly trying to tell Kenyans indirectly that the opposition will settle in for Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi will bulldoze all these opposition leaders into supporting him. That's what is happening here. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.